All right, welcome in. Time for the week that was with Melanie Wilkinson, who joins us in here. Melanie, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. And, weather's starting to turn nicer. It's going to be a nice week here in York. And tell us what's happening. What's at the top of your mind here this week?
Well, there's been a lot of things going on. It's that time of year, where, there's a lot of more like activities, programs. The schools are going wild with awards and end of year things. But it's also time for the city. Oh, I know you're excited to hear about the 1 in 6 year street program, aren't you?
Yeah.
I can see the anticipation on your face.
and all of that. It's just great. It's great stuff.
Well, it's not a ton this year.
Right.
Because in the last few years, as everybody knows, they've reconstructed a lot of sections of streets with doing a major bond project. But this year, there are a few things that people will know in this construction season. On 8th Street, they're going to reconstruct it from Grant to Nebraska Avenue. And they're also going to be reconstructing the corner of 5th and Platte. That's a big thing because that's where that EPA monstrosity is sitting at right now. Mm-hmm. Apparently, sounds like the soil samples are coming back pretty clean. The contamination is actually gone. So whatever the EPA has been doing down there, I don't profess to understand it. It looks like a science fiction movie down there.
Yeah.
But they said as soon as the soil samples come back clean, they're going to be taking all of that out. So that means then obviously the city is going to have to come back in and redo that whole intersection. So traffic will be able to go, and all the way down to 4th Street on Platte. So all of that will be reopened, redone. And probably by fall, you won't even remember that any of that was even there. So that's good news.
Timeline's looking like by fall for most of these projects to kind of conclude.
Yeah, they'll all just take place during the construction season. So depending on the weather, they'll be doing those. They are going to be putting in more EDA ramps downtown, especially in front of the courthouse. I don't know, you probably don't frequent the York County Courthouse a whole lot, but when you go down there, there's only ramp areas on the far ends of the block, but yet everybody is parking right outside, and there's no way to get up into the ramp to get in. So they're going to be creating some of those there, and they're going to be doing panel replacements on Wisconsin and Indiana. So not a ton of projects. Of course, on the 6-year projects, which just means forever, they just sit there on the shelf that they know they want to have them.
Keep imagining it. And,
we have quite a few blocks of just gravel streets yet, which is interesting. They're all residential areas. And a lot of people would like to see those paved, but here's the trick. To have those paved, the people who own the residential properties along them have to agree to share in the cost. And so far, not more than 50% have agreed. So those will stay gravel. And when it rains really hard, mud.
Yeah, snows.
Until property owners ask for it to happen and are willing to share in that. So anyway, the city passed theirs for the year, and that's what they're looking at doing. Yeah. Also with the city, the police department made their year-end report. I find it fascinating. I like statistics because it puts it into perspective how much
year over year and stuff like that.
Yeah, but how much these officers are doing.
Yeah.
And we don't live in a huge city. I think it's 6 square miles of patrol area. Yet they went on. They had 9,636 calls for service in 1 year. That was 9% higher than the year before when it was 8,808. Mm-hmm.
This is one calendar year. Is it January to January? Or is it
January?
Okay.
It just takes them a couple months to compile it, and then the chief comes in and presents.
And we're
it
talking
to
about 2024 here.
2024, there were 582 animal calls, which I think is quite a bit. Now, maybe you have take it. There might be one dog loose and 12 people call on that one dog. I don't know.
Could be
so who knows? And that usually happens. We're all pretty animal conscious around here, it seems like. But they had 115 school checks. And a lot of that just has to do, I think that went up too because we now have a school service officer. That was brand new. That's been a really positive thing. And everybody, the school district and the police department have been very happy with the success of that. It was a new concept for York last year, and it looks like it doesn't look like it. I was in a meeting with Chief Jaden earlier this week, and he said that it's been decided that position will remain forever.
Safety and assurance.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Those. Yep.
So also last year, we had 61 assaults, 299 thefts. These aren't the most positive things.
No.
69 calls, cases of criminal mischief. Now, the accidents went up 11% to 291. 291 accidents in our city in 1 year, to me, seems really, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
There weren't any fatalities
Are
inside.
you aware of what 11%? So
11%
do the math and think about how much more that is.
Exactly.
But that's. And is it weather related? Is that, obviously the weather we had a couple weeks ago with the snowstorm, that doesn't apply to this. So, but
no, I don't know.
Interesting.
But it is interesting because all law enforcement agencies are saying that the number of accidents in their jurisdictions are all dramatically increasing year by year. I think it's just me saying this. I don't have any proof of it. I think it's cell phones.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I think a lot of it is just
distracted driving.
Driving. And so, speaking of which, there's a campaign going on right now where the sheriff's department got a grant to watch for more people on their phones. I don't know much more than that, except for there's a more concerted effort to stop that. But the other thing that I find, and
put the phone down, people. I just want to say that. Yeah, put the phone.
It's like just get where you got to
Exactly.
go, and then get out.
Yeah.
And I'm not like the perfect person saying, "Oh, I don't look at my cell phone when I drive." My issue is I can't see it because I have to wear reading glasses, and I can't drive with my reading glasses.
You have no choice. You have to watch the road.
I can hear it. I can't see it anyway. So who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, back to the police department.
Yeah.
Now this is wild. 2,638 traffic stops.
Yeah.
That's a lot of traffic stops. Now, but that doesn't mean that everybody in York is a terrible driver and speeding and doing things wrong. Because like the chief pointed out, now this is wild. Every single day, we have 9,000 vehicles get off Interstate 80 and come into York. That's a lot. And then add to that 4,000 every day are coming in off of 81 and 34. So we have, a lot of vehicle traffic in York, period, just because of where we're situated. Yep. So anyway, that just gives everybody kind of an idea of what our police department's doing. Besides all the other calls, assisting fire calls and helping out with medical emergencies and HHS intakes and then, of course, all their investigations and paperwork and everything. So,
helping other cities out.
So I guess this is just kind of a thank you to the police department for what they do.
Absolutely. They do great work. Great work.
They do.
Tell us now about a campaign York High School's putting together or for the Agri-Science Center going on. $2 million they're trying to raise for that.
Well, and this is actually the York Public Schools Foundation.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
So it's a non-taxing entity. It's a standalone nonprofit. They already had pledges and they had money sitting in an account. They were able to spend $725,000 on purchasing a property that was owned by Corteva. It's a perfect property for this project. It's just east of the NRD building and the fairgrounds, and it's pretty much across the street from the York County Roads Department.
Yeah. Yep.
There's already buildings there. It's out in the edge of town. So right now, the animal lab in the ag program at York High School now, and they think this will even make it more popular and middle school in the state. So if anybody wants to contribute, they can get a hold of, the information's on my website. It has an address where you can send checks, also a phone number where you can call that goes directly to the school, and you can inquire about whatever you want to know about the program.
Well, in this city of York, I mean, we're an ag community, right? Ag is a huge part of the state. It's a huge part of this region, and I think to support those folks who are going into agriculture, it's pretty good. So I love this idea.
And also, it's interesting seeing how kids are starting to realize that there are a lot of careers in this realm that aren't farming or aren't owning a feedlot. Those are obviously the big ones that people go into for their livelihoods. But there's so many different ways that they can work in this, and in the same role, it also is giving them opportunities to come back to rural Nebraska and have a career. The old way used to be, when you get off the farm, you leave, you go to college, and you never go back. And no, now it's like, let's grow our small towns, let's grow our farming communities, and keep Nebraska alive. So it's a giving thing that's going to go on for hopefully generations.
Absolutely. Melanie Wilkinson in with us to wrap this up today. I know there's some events happening this weekend here in York, and I know one features a couple of student athletes that are going to be giving a very important talk on Saturday. What can you tell us about that? Yeah,
and I think that you had said earlier to me that you'd spoken to two of the organizers, who are Becky Stamp and Misty Bruliette. This is a very important event. It's going to be it's going to be focused towards teenagers, but it's going to be on mental health, suicide prevention, finding hope. Harper Murray is going to be one of the speakers. There's some
Husker volleyball. Right?
Yeah, yep. And then there's going to be some Miss Nebraska contestants and others.
Yeah, J.C. Pfeiffer, Miss Omaha. You have a couple other student athletes from Nebraska. Christopher Heiser, he's on the gymnastics team. Sydney McCracken on the swimming and diving team. Local element too, Corey Minjarez. Hope I'm saying that correctly. She's the women's basketball coach here at York University.
Yeah.
And then Sierra Little, Miss Scottsbluff County. These are all very popular folks in their own realms, and they have stories to share.
I know, and what's really going to be impactful is that these are young people who have they've had obvious success in their lifetime, but they've also had their struggles. A lot of people, of course, don't know about that. I talked with the two moms this week, and one of them said something about how teenagers especially hide their depression, and they don't. People just don't necessarily know that just because things look great on the outside, it might not be so much on the inside. I just think it's an important event. I know that prom is later on that day, but this is just an opportunity. If a teenager wants to go, if you're a parent, I think it's an hour or two. Well worth taking. It's
autographs to the autograph sessions, so you get your photo and autograph with a legend, Harper Murray there, which is it's going to be awesome. But again, she's from Michigan. She had a tough time, and she has a story to share. She's going to tell folks about it and how she she overcame that.
And like they said too, if just one person, one gets something out of it, the whole thing's worth it.
Absolutely.
So that's a very amazing thing going on this week. So.
Yep, absolutely. And then Easter egg drops and hunts going on as well over at West. That's going to be fun. I know on Sunday.
We're having the underwater too, aren't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost track.
Yeah.
Between the parks and the dumps and the swimming and the Easter eggs everywhere.
Yep. Easter season. It's that time.
As long as there is no one dressed as an Easter bunny, I have a hard time with that. See, it's not right.
Are you okay with like Santa Claus? But
Santa's fine.
Yeah, but the Easter bunny. Mm-mm.
Because think about how when I was a kid, I was so terrified because the thought of like a half man, half rabbit. Running around in the middle of the night,
and it always just has a smiling face.
Going into your house and putting candy out, and then hiding eggs, and then you're like, terrible.
seen some old photos of Easter bunnies and, you know, people dressing up as Easter bunnies. Some of those are terrifying. And it's like rabbits don't have smiling faces, you know, when you see a rabbit, it's just a rabbit.
They shouldn't be 6 feet tall, weighing 200 pounds.
Exactly.
So put away the Easter rabbits, just hide some eggs.
Yep. Anything else, Melanie, for today?
All right. We're good.
Well, you have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you next week.
We'll see you then.